Hey friends, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Kay, I'm a professional home organizer, and I am here to inspire you to love your home as much as I love mine by sharing simple tips on changing your mindset about your space. Today we are going to talk about my absolute favorite kitchen organizing tips. Now, I've been using these tips for years and sharing them with my clients, and I'm here in my kitchen today to help you organize your kitchen with these simple tips. So let's go. The first thing I always recommend that people do is clear their counters of any unnecessary stuff. Now, I understand that the counters are there, they're empty, you want to fill them. Just resist the temptation, because I know the temptation to fill empty space. Only the things that you need to use six out of 7 days of the week needs to live on that counter, and nothing else. I know it's tempting to throw all of the appliances on there, your air fryer, your toaster, your coffee maker, your espresso maker, your egg poacher. If you're not using it every day, I've seen, the surprising amount of waffle irons I've seen on counters is shocking to me, because whenever I ask people how often they use the waffle iron, they're like, oh, maybe on weekends. Well, on the weekdays, it needs to go underneath. Especially by the sink, if you have all of that cleaning stuff out, like if you have the dish soap, you have the hand soap, you have the cleaner that you clean, and the sponges, I like to just go ahead and decant everything into these amazing bottles that look the same, so you get some uniformity. And uniformity is one of those secrets of organizing that no one talks about. The moment you achieve uniformity in a space is the moment it looks organized. It's like magic. I got these bottles on Amazon, and I decorated them with my Cricut Joy, and they're super cute. I just put the hand soap and the dish soap on there, and with the sponges, I just stuck them underneath where they can actually dry and they won't get moldy or anything down here. It just provides a little extra space for me to. So remember, unless it's something you use every day, or if it's decor is allowed. Other than that, it's gotta go. Number 2 is declutter the stuff that your fantasy self isn't going to use. Everybody's got a fantasy self. I definitely have a fantasy self, somebody who I think that I am. I am this person who's gonna sous vide, I'm gonna deep fry things, I'm not going to have time to do that. So all of the stuff that is aspirational, but maybe you've had it a while, maybe you've had that sous vide machine 5 years and you've never once pulled it out, it's time for that stuff to go. And even if that stuff, especially if that stuff is taking up a lot of space in your countertops or your cabinets, it's gotta go. Free up some space for something you'll actually use. And your fantasy self, she'll be okay. My next secret is no secret to anybody who's been watching my channel for any period of time, but I'm surprised about how often I don't see it implemented, and that is to never allow anything to be lost in the back. Now, how do I do that? Simple. You put everything on a turntable. Well, not everything. The things I like to put on turntables the most are bottles and jars of things. So that way you can just turn it. Nothing's ever going to be in the back. True, there'll be something in the middle of the turntable, but most likely you'll be able to locate it anyway if you're looking for it. They come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. They make big turntables for underneath the sink for all of that stuff. They make little tiny turntables for cabinets, and they make medium-sized turntables. They even make ones with a lip on them so that stuff doesn't fall out. They're great for every place in your home where you don't want anything to be in the back, which is the place where things go to die. It's a simple rule. Never let anything get lost in the bottom or the back. Avoid the B&B. Not a good B&B, but like the bad B&B, bottom and the back. Always avoid. Bad times. The 4th kitchen organization tip I have is to organize items by type. Another one that seems really simple and very intuitive, but you would be shocked how many kitchens I go into when I see clients and I see multiple of the same items in different areas of the kitchen. Like there's knives over there, but there's also knives over there, but they're just maybe different kinds of knives. No, they're all knives. They should all go together. I see this the most with food storage containers. Actually, food storage containers are the biggest offenders of being everywhere everywhere in the kitchen, and you want to prevent that. So placing everything that you need by type is really important in keeping your organized kitchen. And even getting a little more nuanced than that, I keep all of my prep items that I'm using to maybe measure my food, chop up food, like my salad spinners and all that stuff. I consider those prep items. But for me, those are all the same type of items, so I keep those all together so I don't have to run around from cabinet to cabinet to get all of these different things. So organize your items by type. That'll make it a much easier flow around the kitchen. The next tip I have is to rethink what most people refer to as the junk drawer. If you've seen my channel for any period of time, you know that I am not a fan of the junk drawer. The junk drawer is something I find most often in kitchens. Now, I understand that maybe it's necessary to have some utility items on hand in the kitchen if the kitchen is close to an entrance or an exit. I guess they're both the same. Maybe you throw your keys in there, or there's some miscellaneous items such as tape, scissors, a pen, all kinds of things. I encourage you to either eliminate this drawer and put it somewhere else in the house if it's not next to an entryway and needs to be located there, or to change the way that you think about it and call it a utility drawer instead. It seems simple, but the way we think about items and the way we refer to items is very impactful on how we treat them and how we treat where they're being stored. So I don't want to call anything in my house junk. These are items that are useful. I think Scotch tape is useful, extra nails, some matches, a pair of scissors. Those are useful items. So change that name to maybe utility drawer. And I like to locate utility drawer actually near the entryway, especially if it's got something like a box cutter for packages that come in the door. Or now we have a storage room where all of that stuff like extra nails, extra pairs of scissors, things that I really don't need on hand all the time can live. And that way I don't have to sacrifice one of my valuable kitchen drawers, because kitchen drawers are super valuable real estate, and you don't want to take up one with just something called junk. Do you? So rethink it. It takes usually 20 minutes to organize a utility drawer, and always use drawer organizers. You don't have to buy expensive bamboo ones from the Container Store. You can buy really inexpensive ones from the dollar store, or you can make your own from the bottoms and tops of other boxes. Just compartmentalize all of the stuff that's in there, especially if it's really small, and it will be miles better than what it was before. Just rethink the junk drawer, better known as the utility drawer. My 7th tip is to take advantage of vertical space, especially in cabinets. Now, cabinets are amazing, but they don't often come with enough of the movable shelving, and I love moving shelves around in cabinets. They're super fun. But let's say you have like some big plates, but also some small plates and some bowls and some extra stuff. I love a good cabinet shelf just to divide the space a little bit, so I don't have to pile things on top of other things, because that's also the kiss of death in the kitchen, is to have things piled on one another, because that means things really end up in the bottom. And remember, we want to avoid having things in the bottom and in the back. Another place where I implemented vertical space use is in my oil cabinet, where I keep all my oils and sauces and vinegars. I had a bunch of space above the oils and stuff, and I just stuck one of those under shelf organizers there. They're really cool because you can just slide it in and out if you move it around if you don't like where it is. And I just used it to put all the extra trivets that I had, because I didn't want to put the trivets, like on the side of the cabinet or anything like that. When I'm cooking, I can just grab a trivet and put it on the counter so I don't damage my counters when I'm putting my servingware, cookware there. So that I took advantage of vertical space that way. And going back to turntables, I took advantage of the vertical space in my cabinet again by using a double tier turntable. I keep all of my extra spices that I haven't decanted on this turntable, and it solved the problem for me. My 8th tip to keep an organized kitchen is to utilize pullouts when you can. Pullout solutions are amazing because they allow you to reach things that were in the back, and now they're more towards the front of the cabinet when you pull them out. They make pullouts for everything. You can even get pullouts that don't install into the cabinet floor. If you really cannot do that, like say if you're living in a rental, you can use this Alpha freestanding drawer unit to store your pots and pans in. I know I did that for a long time, for like years, and I loved it. Storing cookware can be really, really tricky. I am super, super pleased to be showing you the coolest set of cookware I received from Caraway. Thank you so much to Caraway for sending me these. When Caraway first launched, I was super impressed because I have always struggled with storing pots and pans, and these came with their own storage solution, plus they're absolutely gorgeous. Caraway is 100% non-toxic ceramic coated cookware, and it is a safer alternative to traditional non-stick. Caraway is free of PTFE, heavy metals, PFOA, and other PFAs. This was a truly non-stick experience. Nothing stuck to this pan. It was so gorgeous. Everything cooked evenly and beautifully. This was my zucchini breakfast that I had prepared for myself, and it was so easy to move things around in the pan with no oil or minimal oil because your girl likes the taste of a little olive oil. And I was very impressed on how easy it actually cleaned up after I was done using it. A little soap and water, and everything just slid right off this pan. This is a truly non-stick experience. After fangirling over these for years, I am absolutely thrilled that they are in my hands. And my favorite thing about them, and the reason I really am excited, is they come with their own organizer. How perfect is that? To find out more about Caraway Home, visit the description, and for a limited time, viewers will be able to get 10% off all Caraway Home products. Very exciting. The 9th tip I have to keep your kitchen really organized involves spices. Spice organization can be a huge issue because you have all of these little tiny bottles and you don't know what to do with them. If you buy spices from different stores, they're going to be all different shapes, sizes, looks. It's madness. So the one thing I recommend, and this takes a lot of time, but it's totally worth it, is to decant the spices into matching containers. This is a high maintenance thing to do, I know, but I spent an entire day doing this, I think like 4 years ago. I will put some footage from my YouTube channel of me doing it. And it's been totally worth it. I made these custom labels with my Cricut, and the ones that we use on an everyday basis or regularly, I put in the spice drawer. If you have enough space to allocate to a spice drawer, it is totally worth it. We put this spice organizer in the drawer. It's plastic, it's white. We've had it since probably 2017. It's gotten a lot of good use. I am meaning to replace it with something a little nicer, but it'll do the job for now. It's so helpful. It helps. Everything is laying down so you can see it really easily. And when I run out of a spice, I just go to my stash and, pour some of the extra in so I have a bunch of extra spices. I love it. If you don't have a drawer to allocate spices to, and I know not everybody has, because again, drawer space is very valuable real estate. My next recommendation is a spice step organizer. I've used this in so many clients' homes and they love it. It allows you to see every spice at every level so that nothing really gets lost in the back, because again, that's a danger. My other bit of advice is to quasi-alphabetize your spices. It will be so much easier for you to find them. You do not know how long before I did this, I spent looking for like oregano, and I would have to go through every single bottle and I'm like, which one is oregano? Now that I have them quasi-alphabetized, you don't have to be perfect, but all the A's should be together, all the B's, all the C's, all the P's, all the O's. And as soon as I alphabetized them, boom, never had any trouble finding any spice ever again. Made my cooking so much faster. You love to see it. And that brings me into my last tip, which has something to do with that. Is decanting worth it? I get asked that question all the time because decanting your items, let's say you get a package of flour and you bring it home, you take that out and you open it and you put it into another container. Now, a lot of people always ask me, is that worth it? And after 8 or 9 years of doing that consistently, I'm going to say, yes, absolutely, 100% it is worth it. You don't have to buy expensive containers. You just have to have ones that please you and that you can label. So the other question I get is how I know when the thing inside the container expires. I have these amazing erasable labels that I put on every container. I can erase it and put the new expiration date on the container, and if I don't remember the cooking instructions, I can simply write them on the bottom if there's enough room to write them, or there's a little adhesive pocket that I put on the bottom or the sides of some of the packages so that I will remember, and if there's a recipe on there, I'll just stick it in there. Having consistent size of containers can absolutely be a brilliant space saver for your kitchen. That is the biggest benefit from decanting items. Also, it's gonna make it harder for bugs to get in. Okay, that's gonna do it for today's organizing kitchen tips. Let me know if you have any more tips for me. Leave them in a comment down below what you do in your kitchen to keep your kitchen absolutely sparkling organized. Sparkling organized? That's not a thing, is it? Thank you so much to Caraway for working with me in this video. Visit the description down below to find out more about Caraway cookware. All right, friends, I hope you have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy cooking. Bye.